Hey everybody, it's Michelle with SavvyMind.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. I had kind of a really interesting aha moment, and I think that I know that I wanted to tell you about it because I have a feeling that this is not, my aha moment was not so different than what yours could be. I was looking at my website over the weekend and I read my About page. Now, I don't know how many of you have read it. It's the savvymind.com/about.html if you want to read it. Anyway, I was really fortunate that I came from a very loving family. Mom and dad loved me. I really grew up in Beaver Cleaver land. However, even in Beaver Cleaver land, there are some wrinkles. So as I was writing this About page, what I really noticed was that I noticed where some of my money imprints came from. And they do say that they're generational. So maybe not just, from your parents, but maybe from their parents and their parents and their parents. So they do say that a lot of these money beliefs are generational, and I kind of believe it based on my personal experience. So I was reading this over just to make sure that there's no typos, which there always are, and I apologize for that. And what I noticed two things. First one is my dad always worked two jobs. He worked for the phone company and then he owned a real estate an agency. And he worked and worked and worked and worked. And so it wasn't until I was older that I realized that none of the money that my dad made from his real estate company came into the family. It kind of went into a separate real estate account, and basically to help provide for my mom in her golden years, which is lovely. However, when I was growing up, what I believed was the fact that we were so poor, my dad had to work his butt off, and that's why he never got to go to any ball games, because I was involved in every single sport that you could be at the time. So he could never go to my ball games. He could never go to father-daughter banquets. He could never pick me up from work because he was always working because we were so poor. He had to work two jobs. Okay. So, and we never got ahead. We didn't live in a nice house. We didn't go on vacations. We didn't drive, big expensive cars. I mean, my mom, we never got ahead. So there's one imprint right there. And then on the flip side of all that, then my mom said to me, and this has been a long time, but this has probably been 25 years ago. My mom said to me, well, when I had a business, because I had a big hypnosis center, and she said to me, why can't you just be a stay-at-home mom? Why can't you be happy being a stay-at-home mom? And I was like, well, that's just not me, but I still remember that, and it was 25. I mean, I can remember exactly when it happened, exactly where we were when she said this to me, and that was 25 years ago. Okay, so there's a second imprint. The third imprint is the fact that because my dad worked so much, okay, my mom and he fought all the time, okay, every night, because my dad was gone every night, okay, and on weekends. So they fought, but yet they stayed together. And it really wasn't until my dad got sick. Well, once he retired, things got better because he kind of just started doing more piddly stuff. And then when he got sick, things got a lot better because they had more quality time, believe it or not. But when I was growing up, they fought constantly. And my mom put up with it. They were married 62 years when he passed. My third imprint. So when I looked at that and I started really thinking about it, what hit me was the fact that I was living my dad's life and my mom's life simultaneously. And I'm like, what the heck? What I didn't realize is that I was living their life, but that wasn't my story. That was their story. And that was so enlightening for me because in the past, what I had done, but really before I changed my mindset, I was working myself silly and not really getting the kind of return on my investment of time and money and resources that I wanted. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is that I definitely wanted to be in business for myself. I have been in business. I started my first business when I was 24. And once you get bit by that bug, it's hard to get over it. And so then I had that going on. And the fact that I put up with a really horrible marriage for a really long time, because that's just the way things, that's what you did, you know? And it's like I lived their lives. And it wasn't until I realized this is not my story. This is their story. Okay? That's when I really created some shifts. And that's when I decided that it was time for me to forge my own way, create my own story. And so that's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to take a look at, where do some of these beliefs come from? And then ask yourself, is this really my story? Or does it come from someone else? It doesn't have to be your parents. It can be anybody. Okay? But I want you to think about this. Is this my story? And if it's not, then why do I keep saying it is? Why do I try to keep convincing myself that this is my story if it's not? Because there is always your story can always change. And thank goodness mine did. So please take a look at that. It was just so enlightening for me to do that. And I hope it's enlightening for you as well. So thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.